Today's Sunday. Sunday, and I was at the entrance to the park around 7:30, around 7 o'clock, and the officer was there, but it's still closed. And so the sign says, "Please proceed, pay the fee at the exit from the park." But she was nice enough. She says, if you look to your right, and there was a bison right there. I was afraid he would try to go across the road. Right on the other side of the booth, there was a bison. And she says, if you look at the top of the hill, there's I think she said antelope or deer. I think it was antelope. And to the right, she says, there's a coyote standing next to the prairie dog, those holes in the ground. And he was waiting for them to pop up, And so there was a place to pull up. I stopped there and I was taking shots of that coyote. Switched my camera to DX mode because it was pretty far. And it was just boring. The coyote was intently looking down into the ground, waiting for the most stupid prairie dog to pop up its head. But then there was some noise at the booth, and the coyote turned his head. It was a nice picture, and the sun was behind me. It was nice. I didn't bother with the bison. Those bisons, they're so dirty, ugly looking. And the deer or whatever, antelope, they were too far, but I took a picture. But look at this. So it's so much nicer in the morning. There's no people. There was one guy behind me. But now what's cool is that the sun is here. Whereas yesterday, everything was on that side. I was shooting into like a harsh light. But it's like amazing. It doesn't even look like Earth. It looked like some lunar craters, or Mars. I'm guessing it's all because this ground is very soft. It's like sand, and because there's super high winds in here. Like yesterday, it was so windy, it was hard to hold the camera. And one thing I noticed, because I was doing landscapes with this Z6 II, and you can see the difference between 24 megapixels on Z6 and 47 on D850. So today I want to try to do, if I do a landscape, I want to try to do it with the D850, which should be much more detailed. And you can see some people were walking down there. There's like a track in here, but there's no animals as far as I can see. Just so quiet and peaceful. And this is a dirt road. So today I'm exploring the Sage Creek area. That's where they're saying there's should be lots of wildlife. So I better hurry before the sun gets too high, and then of course all wildlife will go to sleep. But this is like, it's unbelievable, Like I never saw something like this anywhere. Okay, let me take a couple of shots. All right, I see a bison in the distance there. Far away, probably a kilometer. But that's about it. I should have brought binoculars. They always say, bring binoculars. Even though you cannot take a picture, but it's cool to just observe wildlife, Yeah, early mornings are definitely better. I saw the previous guy who passed me. He stopped and he was taking pictures. I looked to the right, and there's I think they're antelopes, and they were right close. And I'm so glad that I put in so I got today I have my 300 millimeter on Z6 and 500 millimeter on D850. This is kind of like my lightweight combo. I like this camera. It's so nice. Like, the best feature I like about this, I like the sound of the shutter on the Z6. It's so sexy, and the most coolest thing, I remember this because I used to have a Canon R. When I was switching back and forth between Nikon and Canon, at one point I tried Canon R, which was actually pretty good. And the best feature, I think, of mirrorless cameras is the ability to preview your exposure, right? So you set up your histogram and you can see histogram right there, right? Whereas with a DSLR, you have to take a picture, then check your histogram, then do corrections with the exposure compensation, right? So here it's so much quicker because the histogram is right there, I look at the animal, I see, okay, the histogram is too much to the left. I just press the exposure button without taking my eye off the viewfinder. I press the exposure button with my index finger, and I rotate the dial with my thumb to make it brighter or dimmer, in this case brighter. Snap, snap, snap. And but they got spooked, I guess, by my loud exhaust, and as soon as I pulled up, they started walking away. But before, they were right here, you know. I thought maybe I should have kept my 18 to 35, so just took a couple of shots of these crazy hills away. But I'm telling you, this feels like, I don't know, this is not Earth. We are somewhere in a different planet. It's so cool. So I never knew, you know, except that, you know, I watch videos of this guy Steve on YouTube, and he's a wildlife photographer, and he did a video where he was testing a Nikon D6, and he has a big RV, so he was just traveling. And then I asked him, I left him a comment. I said, Steve, do you know any tour operator, like any touring company, that can set me up with a guide to go through the same places where you were testing the D6? And he says, this was just Badlands, NP, Custer, SP, and Yellowstone, and NP. And I'm like, what NP? Okay, National Park. And he says, if you're good at spotting, you don't need a guide. And so that's what I'm doing, right? So I never heard about these Badlands and Custer. Well, I heard about Yellowstone, but I never knew that such a cool place existed here. Anyway, we're still far from the Sage Creek area, where actually there's supposed to be more animals, but I know it's getting brighter and brighter. You see now those things, they walked away from the road. So and the road is dirt, and it's very bumpy. So here you need a pickup truck. But I'm driving slow, because the guy before me was in a minivan, and so same tires. Probably my tires are bigger, because I'm pretty sure my tires are 20-inch. So bigger tires are better on potholes.